Welcome to the Prehocracy Show, the show before the show that you watch after the show.
And by the show, he means the Adhocracy Show, your weekly show where we celebrate advertising, marketing, art, and design.
And we are very excited about today's episode.
We really are.
We're going to be talking about Leica Studios and how they market with shoes, with Nike shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that.
You can learn how to win free Nikes, free custom Nikes.
Well, here's the thing. I learned about this with Coraline, but I saw Coraline way after the fact, like dollar theater, like the secondary theater where it's super cheap. And
Yeah.
I went and saw it and I loved it. And there was a little password at the end, and I'm like, what's that? So I went online and saw like, oh, you put in a code, and as I'm like looking at this stuff, it's like, oh, you get free shoes. Like if you were the first, I think it was 1,000 that they did for that one.
Wow.
And then for Paranorman, I completely, like I didn't connect the two dots, so I completely didn't even know about those. Box Trolls came out, and it wasn't until after Box Trolls that I realized that they had a contest for those shoes. And so for Kubo and the two strings, I was like...
You were on top of it. You were like...
I honestly, I had the website up, and I would refresh it every day just to see like when they would release new things. And then a little square popped up, and it's like coming soon. I'm like refreshing even more. And I unfortunately didn't get any shoes.
You didn't spend enough time playing video games as a kid.
Yeah, I played a lot of video games. I just didn't know how people were doing it because they had to do, I don't know, the scores were just ridiculous. You had to be like perfect or play the game so that, I don't know.
It's right they did do something with origami or something like that, because it seems like it would be way more fitting for...
I know.
For this.
But they kind of did that for Box Trolls.
So it felt like a repeat.
Yeah. So this, it's an interesting way, and I mean, video games, Japan...
It makes sense.
It kind of makes sense.
And like the Hero's Quest still. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
anyway.
in the Prehocracy Show, we are going to go over Kubo and the Two Strings. We're going to talk about our thoughts, our feelings, our movie review. Let's start with just a non-spoiler. How did you feel about it? Ideas around it.
I went in with with pretty high expectations because you told me how amazing it was.
Yeah.
And I just, when I saw the trailer, I was excited because of just how it looked. It just had a cool look.
And that cover of While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah, so I mean, their marketing, as far as just the trailer went, I was intrigued already. I left the theater just adoring the movie. I was just going, wow, that was really good. And it's, I've seen other of Leica's, and I felt like in some of the other ones, their stop motion was good, but it was hard sometimes to concentrate on the movie because the stop motion kind of distracted a little bit. I felt like in this one,
I completely forgot about it.
I totally forgot there was stop motion. I was just
I got to the end of the film and I was like, that was all stop motion.
Yeah. And because the story is that good. I mean, not that the stories in the other ones are bad, but the story just sucks you in.
Yeah.
And you just love the characters and you love the look of it. And I mean, I left adoring it.
Did you blink at the beginning? Did you purposefully not when they're like,
no,
if you have to blink, do it now. I was like, keep my eyes open. I was a little too into it, maybe.
Maybe a little bit. I didn't actually blink because I figured what would I be missing if I did blink, actually. Yeah. If they want me to blink right now, what are they going to show?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I'm one of those people that is in the cult following of Leica where Coraline came out.
What are their fans called? Do they have a name for the Leica fans? Are they
Leicaites or something?
Leicaites? We should come up with one.
We'll do that.
Okay.
But I mean, Coraline came out. It's right up my alley. I love the slightly creepy, not creepy. Well, Coraline was creepy. It was definitely darker side stuff. I love, you get into things like Tim Burton and so Megan and I have a Halloween collection of movies. That's our thing. So when I saw Coraline, loved it. Saw Paranorman, loved it even more. I loved the like story in that, how they switched it. Like it's like, okay, zombies are bad, and then they're like, okay, well the zombies aren't actually bad, and like it was a question of who's actually bad. And box trolls I absolutely loved. In fact, I did a Halloween costume with my wife and daughter, and we were box trolls.
And that may go up on our Facebook page if we get enough views on these videos. We should start doing that.
And then this one came out, and I was excited and ready, and I knew I was going to get something good, and I didn't know what to expect because they didn't really reveal a whole lot.
No, they didn't. They did a good job of just intriguing you.
Yeah. Like being like, okay, this sounds like a great story. I mean, the origami side of stuff, what like they showed little bits of it, but they didn't show like what his powers were, what he could do, or like, so just beautiful. That like you said, a lot of beautiful stuff. The story, the way they told the story is just great. The different aspect, it is really great. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Now let's get into some possible, not really spoilerific, but
if you haven't seen the movie,
we're gonna
proceed with caution.
Yeah, we may say stuff that that is in the movie that it may spoil it for you. It may not. I don't know. Yeah. We don't know what we're gonna get into. Ooh. Let's go over the look of it.
Incredible. Like the design, the just the way that they were able to. I don't know. The attention to detail was amazing. The look, where even though like I mean you had your origami, but even like the natural things of the world still looked origami-ish.
Yeah.
Origami-ish. and I thought that was really awesome. I liked, I don't know, like I thought that it was designed. I mean that's what it was. The movie was designed. It really wasn't like, you know, it wasn't made, it was designed.
And that's the thing is like every element was created. Every element was thought of because it wasn't just like, okay, grab some fabric over here. Okay, put it on this actor. Okay, what can we shoot? Okay, put a backdrop. Like it was, everything is decided. Everything was made. Everything.
And it's kind of like if you're going to do stop motion, if you're going to take that much time to do 1 second,
you're going to want to make sure that everything is
has
right.
To be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, just the look of, I mean, I remember looking at the fabric because I'm going through this and I'm like, man, I would love to make a giant cosplay of, you know, this stuff, and I would love to do Halloween as
that'd be cool.
That family, and but looking at the fabric of the shawl that Kubo's wearing, the little red shawl, like there's an incredible amount of texture in that thing. Like,
yeah,
it's incredible. Like I just remember being like, that's an actual fabric. It probably is in some.
It's not. Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to get, because I kept thinking like computer generated. Because I mean, that's what you see. Like animation is like, wow, that's a lot of detail that the computer put in there. Yeah. Okay, no, wait.
No, someone actually.
That's modeled. That's a picture. That is an image, a picture that exists. That's real.
Let's go to the voice acting.
Pretty good. I thought that the Kubo was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he nailed it. I don't even know who it was. But whoever it was so good. Okay, we're going to look it up.
Yeah, and Matthew McConaughey for me is always sort of an interesting one, and I think a lot of people don't, have their feeling about him. Art Packinson.
He was Dracula, San Andreas.
Oh, yeah.
Game of Thrones. Maybe that's why.
So in Matthew McConaughey's voice, he was Beetle. When he shows up, I was like, oh, it's Matthew McConaughey. That is definitely Matthew McConaughey's voice. Like Charlize Theron, like I didn't know until someone said Charlize Theron. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't really.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious.
But Matthew McConaughey, like his voice was immediately recognized. I was like, that's Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, I know that was George Takei.
But it melted away. Oh, and George Takei, did you catch him? He's in the scene where it shows like the little samurai. He comes out and cuts off the legs of the spider, and he's doing all that. And he's on the side and he covers the eyes of his granddaughter and he goes, "Oh my!"
Oh my! I didn't even realize
that. That's his voice. Yeah. Ralph Fiennes is the Moon King, which is just awesome. I love Ralph Fiennes.
Actually, it's pronounced Ray Fiennes. Did you know that?
Ray?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe it is.
How to pronounce.
But I mean, as soon as it got into the movie, I completely kind of went away. Like Matthew McConaughey's voice just kind of disappeared, and it didn't matter. Rafe Fiennes. That's funny. Okay, let's go into the cinematography and lighting.
Oh man, I was just loving it. And again, it's so hard for me to remember that there's an actual camera, that this isn't all on a computer. Yeah. That it's actually a camera that's following these images. And
it's also interesting how they're portraying, like, good is always in a warm light.
Yeah.
Evil is always in a blue light.
Yeah, which I would always make fun of because, I mean, if you ever watch a Transformers and Armageddon and like whoever did that, I can't think of that director's name. What's his name? Anyway.
Bay Explosions.
Yeah.
Michael Bay. Your favorite.
Teal and orange. Every movie is teal and orange. This is the way he color corrects it. For no reason. Like that's the thing. Is there's no reason behind it.
You create a pretty easily recognizable look of who's where and...
But skin tones are super orange and blues are super teal. But in this one, there was a purpose behind it.
Yes. Yeah.
They did... I mean, there was a lot of blues and a lot of reds, but there was a reason for that.
Those things. And it wasn't just like everything was tinged that way. It was like...
It was designed.
Like there's one scene where Monkey is up on a pole and she's seeing the storm behind her and it's, darker and blue. She looks over to the sun and it's light and kind of reddish and
the amount of action that was in this movie and the way that they showed the action, how cool was that to know it was stop motion? Like it was great already, but then just like
there's an extra layer of complexity that makes this incredible.
I so hope that this movie, gets nominated or wins Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. I think it deserves it.
Yeah, and the science behind how they have to shoot and light in scale to the thing that they're shooting and lighting. There's so much to it. I would love to go to their studio and show some of that stuff and talk about that stuff. And
that would be the coolest thing to really... I mean,
you guys can bring us out.
Well, we won't come... We won't, we'll say yes. Just putting that out there.
I've got some days off. Let's talk about story and layers.
I loved the story.
I absolutely loved how they introduced the story by the main character telling the story of his father. Like, here are the 3 pieces of armor that you need to defeat the Moon King.
And then that became...
That's his quest.
Story. His quest, which then became... But, he didn't know the ending.
Yeah. That was the cool part because they're showing him, like, he's this incredible storyteller. He's playing. He's got the origami. But then he always... shuts it up. He's always done. And then he goes home and you see his mom explaining the story, but she can't remember the full story.
Yeah. Is that because she hit her head on a rock? Is that what it was? I could never figure out that.
Well, I think she lost a lot of memory and stuff from falling from her position and stuff, but she does when they're coming in and the wave from behind takes her. They show a scene where it comes and she hits her head and it cuts her eye.
Yeah, so I was wondering if that's like why she lost her memory.
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly, but the sisters talk about how the Beatles memories were so easy to take out, like they just spilled out of his head. So I don't know if there's some. Because they also have the thing where grandfather becomes human again, and he can't remember anything, and they have to tell him the story.
It would have been so easy for them to do the cliche ending, and they didn't, and I loved that.
Yeah,
I loved that they didn't.
Well, your heroes for the most part die.
Yeah,
like it's not necessarily a happy ending. It's sort of the beginning of another story ending. One thing that someone brought up to me as a point of like they weren't so sure about it was that they didn't feel like the adventures and the tasks at hand were hard. Like he didn't have to like when he gets the armor, when he gets the sword. I mean, and it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of action that happens in that, and it is pretty quick.
I agree. I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it too.
But my thought was, because I kind of thought, oh wow, especially like the helmet. Like, really easy to get the helmet.
Well, and that it was hidden there, and that's why the mom was traveling there, or that's why...
Yeah, so it was easy to get the helmet, but he didn't defeat the Moon King with the armor and the sword and the helmet.
That's one of the other things that I thought, kind of on the reverse of this, is that the trial didn't come from getting the stuff. Like, everything was... And that's so much of life, right? Like, not everything is awarded after a hard battle. It's, you know, you work hard for something and you sort of get something, but it's like you get something and now you have a responsibility, or you have to like go through a battle. So everything, like the sword, they have to fight the skeleton, or they had to find the actual sword. The armor like was sort of set up as a trap. And so he and Beetle had to go through that to.
Well, and it was kind of like, I don't know, it's almost message of he had like everything that he needed in the first place. He didn't need that stuff, but he needed to go through that to learn what he had.
And they talked about the power of memories and stuff, and he had the string from his mom, and like
and even though I kind of saw that coming, I was still like loved it. And I liked that. I mean, it was just like in his head.
Well, and that like, okay, the armor and stuff, that is a worldly sign of power. It's a worldly sign of protection, of all this stuff. And he sheds all of that to win with memory, to win with love, to win with like the things that come from. Okay, here's spoiler stuff.
Spoilers.
Monkey is the mother. And Beetle ends up being the father. I think I did foresee. I was able to kind of tell that Monkey was mom. They switched the scar on the other side.
I did notice that. I saw it, but I didn't even think about it though. I saw that. I was like, that's weird.
Because they hint at that pretty hard. Like there are so many little things that are like when they really reveal it. When she says, I didn't lose my power or whatever. When she's battling the first sister. But then I didn't see Beetle. I didn't guess.
And that's when I did guess.
I should have guessed that.
As soon as they revealed that Monkey's the mom, it was like, oh, okay.
Okay, so this must be Dad. The sisters were super cool.
Oh, I loved them.
One thing I loved is that like the masks and their movement and stuff was creepy. Like it's the very like Japanese anime, like their non-movement is almost more scary. But the thing that I found even like more terrifying, that I just loved the detail, was the mask has like this bright red lipstick, and when I think it's the second sister, they break the mask and it's like the lips, it's like pale moon lips, like nothing, and it's almost creepier. It's almost worse. I
know. We were debating on whether to take our kids, because we're like, if we can't find a babysitter, like it's like, it's animated, so no. Glad we didn't take our kids. This would not have been good.
I need to learn that line. So that's I mean, all of the movie altogether, it's incredible.
It really is.
It really is a good movie. It's definitely going to be in my collection. I'm going to have my own special section that is just kind of.
And then once we start getting the shoes, we can have here's the shoes and here's the movie.
Here's the shoes with the movie.
And you wear the shoes when you watch the movie, and that's the only time you wear the shoes.
I need a lot more money to get those shoes.
Or just a lot more subscribers.
Ooh, maybe.
Anyway,
let's get to the show.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the shoes and Nike, how they're all related, and all of that. It's kind of fun.
This is going to be a good episode.
This is another layer of their marketing and stuff that they've just done right. Their websites are great. And this is just so unique and different, and it fits what they do. So.
Okay. I think I start this one, actually.
Do you?
Because didn't I mess up last time, and you said welcome, and then I was...
okay, yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Oh, wait, let me... Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Welcome to the Adhocracy Show. On today's episode,
we fawn over Leica Studios.
We show love for Kubo and the Two Strings.
And Nike shows their love too.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Now, Leica Studio does something a little bit different. And it's really awesome because they have kind of a cult following to their movies.
Hi.